This is Jeremy Tesmer with SGTV. Step back in time for just a moment to an era the French call La Belle Époque. In America, we call the time between about 1890 and World War I the Gilded Age, or even the Grand Banquet. It was also the time of Leon Dabo, the newest artist to Sullivan Goss. From a Victorian farmhouse in rural New Jersey, the gallery has acquired a treasure trove of Dabo's drawings and paintings. This is the first time that these drawings have been seen in at least 50 years, and many have been stored away for over 100. 100 years ago, Leon Dabo was painting murals for churches, synagogues, and statehouses. He was working with John Lafarge, another New York-based Frenchman who was considered a virtuoso in everything from charcoal to stained glass. In his spare time, Dabo was making drawings. Beautiful, painterly drawings in blue Conti of his walks along the Hudson. Dabo considered himself one of James McNeill Whistler's spiritual descendants. In long, ribbony lines laid down with a feathery touch, Dabo captured a view of the American landscape that was every bit as moody and romantic as one of Whistler's famous nocturnes. While the blue color of many of these works is suggestive of the quiet, spiritual quality the artist was after, the real work is in the careful metering of contrast. The shapes of trees, land, and water barely stand out from one another, suggesting perhaps the hidden connection between all living things. Dabo drew to plan his compositions, and he drew for practice. The artist Thomas Cole exhorted Americans to learn the shape and foliage of every tree, and Dabo did his part. Ultimately, though, he came to a style of small, idealized trees at water's edge, arranged as Debussy might have put together the notes of Clair de Lune. Everything floats beautifully in an immensity of space. The heyday of Dabo's career didn't start until 1905. Still, in the ensuing 12 years, he had over 100 exhibitions, in which he showed some 700 canvases, and many, many drawings. He showed in 64 different venues in London, Paris, Berlin, Florence, and all across the US. He even managed to participate in two of the most important exhibitions in New York during that time: the Exhibition of Independence, organized by the Eight, and the famous Armory Show. Dabo drew deeply from the well of an American Barbizon style descended from William Morris Hunt, and imbued his work with a feeling of quiet and infinitude. Eventually, these qualities came to be associated with the turn-of-the-century movement known as Tonalism. Interrupted by his service in World War I, Dabo rebuilt his career and was producing a lot of work by the 1930s. Again, his sensitivity to that which is fine, fragile, and beautiful emerged. The American landscape was replaced by the French floral. The French flocked to his work, and he sold better than he ever had. And then, the Germans were in Paris. A 75-year-old Dabo, his Jewish wife, and about 300 canvases had to escape. After the war, he returned to Europe to work up the landscape of Provence. At age 86, his facility with charcoal had not diminished one iota. In 1951, he was invited to exhibit alongside Cézanne and his acolytes near Mount Saint-Victoire. He died a national academician with work in 60 museums just 9 years later. The gallery has published a book in conjunction with this exhibition and looks forward to further exhibitions and publications. The drawings of Leon Dabo has been installed in our vintage gallery. It will be on view through March 31st. Come see it.